5:32 p.m. Roll call. Come on, John.
Okay, I think I'm fixed.
All right, excellent. Roll call. We have Putnam, Tone, Berger, and Patrick. Rick?
Mr. Crown.
Well,
John is on the.
whoever else is here on the committee, Mr. Pagola, Rachel.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of the agenda. Questions? In favor? Anybody opposed? Passes. Then I would like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Anybody on a public line, Judge? Yeah. Negative. We'll skip number 5 and jump right into it. Discussion, next steps. Usual. Rachel, take it away. Technology.
So the first item is the policy here. I don't know if you wanted to start, Jeff. I know you had some things you wanted to bring
Sure.
up.
I think that was the verbiage that's in the policy reflects Shipman Goodwin's best effort at telling us what we can or can't do as a repercussion from lack of payment. So the two things that aren't spelled out in Shipman and Goodwin's words are what that timeline is. It's very vague from a enforcement standpoint. So if you send somebody a bill on October 1st, what's the expectation? So there's really two expectations I would expect to see in the policy, holding both sides accountable, right? So if the parents are accountable to the district for the cost, the district has to be accountable to the parents for a timely notice of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see in the policy and some others from a technology standpoint, you would see, okay, the damage occurs on a Tuesday, we will send you your bill within 2 weeks. Or somehow, so that way nobody gets a bill 3 months later and can make the case that there's an issue. And then the second time would be the parent's obligation back to the district. What's the obligation? Is it within 30 days they owe or an arrangement must be made? And then you have to have some kind of a clause as an end of your expectation, right? So that it gives you the ability, we want to give you the ability to get the collection done, issue the repercussion if necessary, not have there be an easy loophole for a parent to expose. So we can certainly pick the number of days. I'm just suggesting some for the purposes of the conversation. But if damage occurs on March 1st and they get the bill by March 15th, the payment's due by April 15th, and then you decide, okay, now I can start to send home notices to say, hey, within 7 days, if you're not paid, we're going to issue we're going to follow the policy which says we can take things away from you. But the other issue is what happens when it happens on May 15th and they're a senior without any verbiage in here for it. You leave it open to interpretation as to when or if you can enforce the policy. Because net 30 from May 15th would let somebody go to all of the events. You'd have nothing to take away.
So maybe we could do like 30 days or end of school, well,
prior to
or prior to.
Your enrollment.
I'm sorry.
Your enrollment in school, once you graduate, you're no longer enrolled in Torrington Public Schools, correct?
Correct. It would be end of enrollment. You mean, yeah.
Or you could do like May 30th.
I would say, yeah, if to do the timely manner to hold people accountable, I would say by May 30th. I would say that's appropriate, or June 1st, no later than June 1.
You can always put, we tend to do that leeway, I don't want to put it in the policy and it says leeway, but some way for superintendent as a designee to approve, additional circumstances or arrangements or whoever that may be. But that's just my thought after having read it. What's everybody else think?
Sure. Because this got kicked, the can got kicked down the road from policy to us to finalize. It's correct.
I kicked it to Gary and then
Well,
Gary,
yeah, I
Gary
think
had to
there was
take it
just
back.
discussion
Yeah.
to be had about it, and we weren't able to have that discussion in that particular meeting. So I think this is our time to like iron out some of these things. I do have some concern with some of these, for lack of a better word, consequences. Just that, what if these students don't participate in athletics or things of that sort? I mean, school dances, field trips, and prom are for the older students. And then, you know, suspension of district assigned device gets a little tricky because our curriculum is online and all of the assignments are online and things of that sort. So just want to be as clear as we possibly can about, you know, what and think about what that's going to mean for the IT department to manage, as well as the teachers in the classroom. Because I know that, you know, a student not having their device may cause some disruption in the classroom.
Can a device be given to them that they could only use within the classroom?
Yeah, so we do have some circumstances where we do what's called a check-in, check-out. And that has worked relatively well.
So can we build that in then?
Yeah, I think my big concern is that if we get pretty much like overrun with this, right now the LMC specialists are so like, they're so great and they help us with that process. But, and then of course, just upholding all of these, policies, just making sure that it's followed through on.
If I may, I agree with you, Rach. I think two things though. I think if we do the device that Ellen is speaking about, then we limit it going home, and that's a punishment, and it doesn't withhold curriculum.
Yeah,
And, you know, we're covered legally there because then they'd have to access the curriculum at home by another means because they've lost that based on board policy.
right.
I think the other piece, and I get it, I mean, I think that there is gonna be some bumps, and the fear may be that it's gonna uptick in the very beginning, but I don't wanna liken it to our last meeting where we talked about, it was at sick and policy, it was about when we started with our retentions, right? Our numbers spiked in the very beginning, and then
Yeah.
they became more manageable because the students realized the expectation was we are not gonna social promote. So I understand it's going to be work in the beginning, and I get it, and it's gonna be all hands on deck. But I think to Jeff's point is if we have that kind of May 30th and we have that language in about the superintendent working with you, obviously, to do that and hold students accountable,
Mhm.
I think students are gonna realize this isn't a free for all. You don't get to go home with this device and throw it against a wall and come in and say, whoops, right?
Right.
And there's no consequence. And I think that's why I think we, you know, I know the board was very supportive when you brought this up. I think that policy is just necessary at this point.
Mhm.
But I hear you, and I think the only gate some of that, you know, overflow, if you will, is we're gonna have to work with our building leaders as well. And they're gonna have to support you as the director of technology to, when this comes to fruition, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm bringing this up just because I want to be clear that I wouldn't be able to just remove a device entirely from a student.
yeah.
Like, and I just want that to be,
It talks about replacement or daytime use devices.
yeah,
And I would give them, I mean, it's gonna sound horrible, but you have these great Chromebooks now for the much higher spec Chromebooks at the high school.
Mhm.
The loaner devices don't have to be the nice ones. A
Yeah.
Chromebook can run one way or another. So we have to give them one of the middle school type devices that we probably have some extras of now. I say extras, but like a little bit of surplus of some of those older devices that we're getting close to time to move on. We could use some of those.
Mhm.
They can still educationally, we've met the requirement, but it's a little bit slower
Right.
because you couldn't be responsible with your big device. And how often is the damage happening in versus out of school, do you estimate? Obviously, you're not there to watch them.
yeah. That's hard to say because a lot of the times when we ask, well, what happened or what do you think what happened? It's, I don't know, I just opened it up and it was like that.
It's because I sat on my book bag.
So I really can't accurately answer that, unfortunately. I would hope it's not in school, but you know, some things happen. They get knocked off desks or, you know, dropped in the hallway or in a locker, you know, all things that are typical damages for a student to have. But I do think that you're right with the timeline situation. And like I said, I just didn't know if we needed to change that verbiage of suspension of students' access to a district device. Because I just didn't want that to read that we were removed, like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, what page is that
Right
on?
here.
That's in the red, right?
It's in the red, yeah.
It's in the
Which
red?
came from
Ship.
So I'm gonna ask a quick question. Who wants to take the lead as far as managing the edits? So when we move this forward, we're gonna have to say that we're approving this as amended, as discussed during this meeting.
I could work on it with Kim.
I would just say you could make the motion to have one, to your point, have one of the designees, like if it's Jeff, to work with Rachel, and Rachel will work with Kim to the final version that you're gonna present to the board. That would be an appropriate motion. Hearing everyone's opinion, I think everyone's in agreement.
Okay.
I would just for
Yeah.
making the
The
meeting.
legal side, make a motion for Jeff to liaison with Rachel and her team to modify this policy
and bring it
as discussed.
bring it to the board for approval on the 24th.
Yep.
So we can get you.
Please clearly identify what is changed and what was not. Red and black, not change it all the same color, so we have to figure out where it changes.
Second.
All in favor? All right. Jeff, you're it.
Got it.
All right.
What other sticky points were you, Rachel? So I want to mark that line, but I can't.
I think it was just, those were all, they were just in the red, Glenn. It was just in the,
first one.
The first bullet.
Suspension of students'
Oh,
access to
first
the
bullet.
district assigned, yep.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that.
Yeah.
And Rachel brought up a question about what if someone's not in categories,
well,
there's really not much else we can do. Is everybody? in
I guess
agreement
it would really fall under that suspension one.
with that? Okay. So really,
I would
So
be-
you
I
would
use-
reword it, suspension of students' access, home access of a school computer, something to that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't change it.
No.
Well, it says may include but not limited to. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it, but, and that we wouldn't necessarily do it. But if you read a policy and it says, well, if you don't pay, you just can't take it home. If you make it sound more general, I think it makes it a little bit easier for somebody to overlook and say, well, not a big deal. Because you don't have, we obviously can do up to and but not limited to. That's up to the group as a whole, but I tend to think if Shipman and Goodman said we could do it, we might as well put it in and use it as,
And then use our
because
own
our policy would be,
interpretation.
hey, here's a loaner device that you can use during the day. I think on policy, we have the teeth to do it, but in real world, we're going to let a student be educated. Obviously, it's our obligation.
Yeah, And
Maybe
then-
it's to the point where the fourth device was broken in math class.
right. Yeah, I was gonna say for
Yeah.
those outliers of the kids who take the loaner and don't return it or
100%.
break that loaner as well, things of that sort.
If we take it out, we take away your ability to use it in one of those crazy circumstances. If we leave it, it's there as a tool for you to use if and when you need it, but not necessarily all the time.
I mean, if they chronically keep breaking things, would that fall into a disciplinary action? Like, someone smashes a window at school, what are they gonna do? What's gonna happen? You're in big trouble.
So I think we have something in here for willful neglect. I have to review it again. There's a spot in here for on
Yeah.
purpose damage to a device.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jeff, you work on bullet number 1. Something internally, as with any policy, you want to be able to measure the effectiveness of your said policy. We're trying to limit the amount of loss as far as dollars go, repairing computers and stuff. How are we going to measure that? Now, I think with any like computers and technology stuff, the nature of these laptops, there has to be a certain percentage of acceptable loss. We know we're not going to nobody's not going to break anything all year. What that percentage is, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But I think maybe from a budget perspective, a policy perspective, and a facilities perspective, maybe we could come up with some idea of, hey, we spent X per year on technology, and we're gonna expect Y in expected loss. Right now, we know where we're at, to see if this is effective, to see if we can get that loss down to a target level. Otherwise, making policies and not measuring it anyhow is pointing away.
I mean, I could. I
And
guess
we
I
don't
could-
need an answer now, we don't need an answer next month, but
Yeah,
sometime this year, let's figure out, hey, let's come up with, hey, acceptable loss was, this year, say, for example, we were at $80,000
right.
of $800,000 budget, 10%. So let's
Yeah,
try to narrow down what it is.
I think the only issue with that is on refresh years. So obviously we would spend more money on a refresh year where we're getting new devices because our old ones are out of date, out of warranty, something like that. Rather than the year after a refresh year where we wouldn't need to purchase as many devices.
Okay.
So that number fluctuates quite a bit, and that's.
And maybe
the
instead of
only-
on purchasing, we just use overall value of stuff.
We could do that.
Let's use that value.
Yeah.
As the X.
Sure.
We also, Glenn, have 2 years of historical data that we have the year that, we have 2 years of device protection plan. We know what the overall damages were. So the idea would be, what's the percentage of collection? We should have a goal for, at some point, percentage of collection. That's the improvement you're looking for, because it reduces, that in turn reduces the loss. And on top of that, what's the trend look like? Because once they realize we're enforcing it, to Superintendent Wilson's point, the idea is, yes, it's a little bit of an uphill battle on workload. And then once everybody realizes we're not joking around, you should see less overall incidental damages, the ones where somebody, they might have done it on purpose and they'll think twice about it now.
Mhm.
So I think you're great point, Glenn, but I think you'll probably get that data without a whole lot of extra work all on its own if Rachel shares that loss data that we were looking at last time. That brought
What's
this-
our target?
I'd say and a lot less than we're at now as far as a percentage.
That's what I'm saying. We need to have a target. So do we meet our goal? Do we achieve our goal? That's,
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna beat a dead horse on that. What happened? Any other questions on this policy? We have a direction? Anything else you would like?
I don't
Anybody
believe so.
want- Any other comments or changes they see appropriate? All right, hearing none, we'll move on.
Sure.
All right.
Social media?
Yep.
So this week, the honorable mention goes to Torrington Elementary School. If you see in the packet, they had 18,000 views on one of their posts, which is incredible. It was a little video of walking down the hall and all the teachers and admins were lined up on the side. A few of the schools did it. It was really, really cute. But they took the top views for this month. So great job to them. And I linked the video in the digital version. So if you want to look at that, you can. Just another highlight I wanted to point out. There is a slide for Fast Academy. It is coming soon. I have already started creating it. So you should see information on there within the next month or so. Hopefully I'll have something to report next month. And then my last slide was a Parent Square post update. So at our admin retreat, I spoke with all the admins about how important it is to use Parent Square to send out communications. And I mean, the numbers show that they took that seriously. The posts have been excellent. We had some bus incidents, a little bit, we were running a little behind. They sent out messages to parents. We informed them, let them know what was going on. Welcome back nights, things of that sort. Back to school forms did great. We have personally, the technology forms did amazing this year. We reached, I think it was let's see here. 70% total for the district, But like the high school was 93%, TMS was 94%. So really, really good feedback and getting those forms back to us through Parent Square. So just wanted to share that, and that reach is working.
Any questions?
Are those, the numbers on Parent Square, are those whole school things that are sent, or are teachers' posts counted in that as well?
I believe that's whole, like as a whole, yeah.
Because I've noticed an uptick in individual teachers
Have
sending
you?
them out as
Good.
well. Yeah.
Good, awesome. I did a little blurb on that at our new staff orientation too, just putting that into our new staff's heads of, you can use this to communicate with parents, you know, send home reminders, there's a pop quiz on Friday, or, you know, just little things that, so that we have that two-way communication at home. So seems to be doing well.
Are some of these pictures, Josh flying a drone?
Yes,
Nice job,
yes,
Josh.
our resident drone flyer. Yeah, so the images of the middle school, the high school, and the field were all taken by Josh.
Special credit with an asterisk in the corner.
Yes.
Social media, tech update, do we have anything to add there?
I did just want to share, I did share a little bit about those numbers. The protection plan, I'll probably have more numbers to share next meeting because they have until the end of this month to enroll. So I want to give some time, and I'm gonna, you know, keep sending updates and maybe put something out on the Facebook page as well, just to try to, you know, remind people that, hey, please sign up. And, you know, hopefully if they're watching this meeting, they'll know policy's coming as well. So it might be a little bit more of an incentive to sign up for the protection plan, protect themselves and their students. And then as for just things we did over the summer, the team wiped, cleaned, and updated all student devices in district as always, which is about somewhere around 4,000 devices. So hats off to them, on top of, you know, setting up these new devices for high school, middle school, and K1 as well. The central office move, the TMS setup, the FAST setup, TIS setup, and also I wanted to give a shout out to Dean and his crew. They helped mount all of the smart boards that were taken out of the old THS, and they were repurposed in TIS. So now the classrooms there have smart boards that they can use with the benchmark curriculum. So thank you. So that's pretty much what we've been up to.
Yeah.
And that's all I have. Any questions?
No? All right, we'll move on to Mr. Piccolo, facilities.
So moved. I said, right after he just got praised, it was perfect timing. I wonder if Ray's planned that. Dean must have
Wanted to
paid him.
rosy up his cheeks a little bit.
I understand. I get it, how it works over there on that end of the table.
Thank you. Yeah, so I gave you guys a kind of what facilities did this summer. And some of the stuff is still ongoing. Hopefully you had a chance to take a look. I know there's a lot of stuff on here. It's 3, 5 pages, 6 pages worth of items that we worked on. Some larger than others, some you know, daily stuff that we have to come up with. Well, and I shared this at our, I should go for it. I should do that first. Sorry. All right, so let me back up a little bit. Let's talk about the TMS roof update. Sorry. So we are, the bid contractors have bid it. They came out, we did a walkthrough last week or the week before. So there was probably 15 to 16 roofing contractors there. From my estimation and one of the manufacturers rep there was probably 3, 4 union And the rest were probably non-union guys, which really doesn't matter other than when it comes time to manpower and things of that nature. The walkthrough went well. There's a lot of questions that were asked right there. Gale Associates was with us, so they had two representatives that took notes and have been receiving RFIs pretty regularly. They have a pretty good list of information that they have to put out. We did get asked last week if we can extend the bid date to the 15th, from I believe the 10th to the 15th. So, talked to Donna, talked to the boss a little bit, talked to Glenn. We decided, yeah, let's give him some extra time because the contractors are requesting more time, being such a large project, and some of the questions that were asked, and it allows these guys to really dig in, and hopefully their numbers are coming in, where we need them to come in. So again, our bid date is coming up next week. Looking forward to that. We're just in that middle of that pattern right now as far as the group goes. Okay. All right. Any questions on the middle school roof? Intermediate school roof? And we will be keeping the name of it, just, we still have to call it the middle school roof, even though it's the intermediate school, just to confuse things a little bit more, just because of the state documents that were, already in place. We don't want to mess around with that. Okay, project updates. Now I can go into it. So again, the list I gave you is everything we've been doing since the last time we met. As you can see, there's still some projects left to be done. We're in the progress of completing them. That's what we'll be working on. But you'll see on this list, there's a lot of things that happened. And I want to say, besides general maintenance cleaning, our general summer cleanup, which we did fantastic. We changed our routine a little bit. We kind of made groups of certain people that were good at certain things that we figured it out. Well, we let them do their thing, and we broke the teams up. Custodians everybody was at a different school at one time or another. Sometimes some of them was the whole summer. I had them moving around just because, some guys are very good at stripping and floors, and I had some good painters and some this and that. We figured out what were the good teams, and we were very, very efficient this year. Super happy with my custodial crew. They outperformed my expectations by far. So the list that I started with, if you guys remember, I had a kind of nice to have. We got that done too, just because of their, we had must have, should have, and nice to have. We were able to get almost all the stuff that was on the original list completed, as you see in front of you. So a lot of things got completed. The schools, I believe, are at a level of cleanliness that they haven't been in a long time. Just from experience of being around, and how we did it was much different this year. So it was a great summer as far as that goes. A few of the things that were still in progress that are not complete yet are bottle fillers. So at TIS, at Fast Academy, at Vogel, I'm waiting. I just received the estimate for a new model type of bottle filler, not to get into details, but the newer model are much easier to change the filters, but they are new, so we had to wait. They're in manufacture right now, so we'll be able to get those and keep going with those when we get them. Again, the smart boards, we still have a few in the district, but we did not have to buy any new smart boards. We were able to take them down, restore them, reassemble them, and pretty much all. Peter just reminded me we have 3 over there we have to do. After those 3, I think we pretty much have all the smart boards up that we have, that we took down from the high school and other schools when we're moving things around. We're also doing at the Torrington High School, we have almost mirrored what the middle school had as far as glass whiteboards, but I bought a different manufacturer, a little bit smaller. They're going horizontal instead of vertical. Worked out great. So they're magnetic, and they're a very nice looking whiteboard. It's a glass whiteboard, and since we put them in, the students have been putting very nice artwork on there with dry erase markers, welcome back and things of that. The idea was instead of having thumbtacks and papers all over building, use the whiteboard to magnetize something or draw on it along with the metal frames. We're trying to stay away from putting holes in the walls and tape on the walls that will, this building is, the hallways of this building is made of a very, and I didn't really know about it till I know about it, a very high dense sheetrock that I really didn't think it was going to be that, that it's still sheetrock, but drilling into this stuff is very, very heavy duty. So, to repair it is a problem. So we're trying to get away from repairing it, but it is a very heavy duty sheetrock, much stronger than typical sheetrock you have in your home. And in the hallways, it's where it's located most of all, and that's where everybody wants to kind of put their daily stuff up. And so we're still in the process of doing that at the intermediate school. I'm sorry, at the middle school and the high school. Gym pads at TIS, we're still in the process. We have them. They're there on site. We're working at nights now. We probably have, I don't even want to say how many, maybe a third done, maybe not. So we're taking down all the old gym pads in there, putting all brand new black ones up to match the high school, middle school. So we went with black in there. And we're going to be taking the decent ones down, and we're going to be using for some other repurposing in some of the rooms that we need to put pads in. But that's something in progress right now. Another thing is bottle fillers. And a couple of larger projects that I'm looking to jump into now is which will be out of capital, will be our Torrington chiller, which we've been band-aiding it for a long time now. Thanks to Donna, we have a very good handle on our exactly our process of being able to do these capital projects with the money that we have. So the Torrington chiller is the first on the list, and I'm kind of basing it on at this point, what will shut our schools down, right? That chiller will shut us down if we get a hot spell and we don't have cooling in that building. So that's first on my list, is that chiller up there, and it's been band-aided so much that I feel we're really pushing our limits with it. The other BMS, the other project I want to do is our BMS system, which is our building management system for HVAC systems in Vogel School is very, very antiquated. We really need to redo it, maybe change the platform, which I'm looking at. I'm meeting Friday with a contractor to take a look at the platform that's there and possibly go with their platform instead, but that needs to be updated. So those are two of the probably major things we'll be looking at that would be capital. And that's pretty much an update of what we've been doing this summer and where we're going now. Any questions?
I have a couple, just I don't know what they are. Go ahead.
The AEDs. AEDs for the complex.
Yep.
Those are defibrillators, right?
Yes.
Okay, do we have them in every school?
Oh yeah, what I have on there, we were just looking at locations. We have them in a new school. That was pretty much a note just to make sure they're in where they're supposed to be.
So do
So
we have one for each floor, or?
right now we have one in the areas where people usually, like the cafeteria area where the gymnasium is, and those main areas right there. The nurses have them. So those three locations where they're at.
And there's emergency teams in each building so that they know where to go and get one in case they're
Yeah.
outside. or
Yeah, that would be
whatever.
in our safety plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's lit.
Fire away.
First, just to echo the sentiment, I was in the intermediate school, and I emailed you to say as well.
You did. Thank you for that.
Amazing. I mean, the difference. The building was spotless. And just the detail, even in the corners or where the floor meets the base coat more, like you could tell somebody did it with care.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
The
these
next-
guys did a great job.
Yeah, they did a great job. The next one is, do we have any outstanding ADA projects? There were some that were older that we had to push off, didn't have funding. I was
Yeah.
just thinking,
We do. So, I mean, sidewalks, a lot of it goes into sidewalks. A lot of it goes into such a larger,
dollar amount too.
yeah, capital project. To go out here, and this was one of them, because I did adjust last year. At one point, we did some of the sidewalks here. and we had to kind of get them to ADA. And then we're looking at the whole complex, and it's like, you gotta redo the whole system to go ADA.
Yeah.
Smaller things, we're in pretty good shape. I know on our, when I say that, I know on our facility study that came up in pretty much every bathroom that we had, that, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta, we have been slowly changing things out. I took a ton of stuff from the high school, grab bars, and that's where we're missing a lot of places, swing up grab bars, regular grab bars, and slowly kind of plugging them in where we have to get us up the level on the smaller end. The larger projects,
Yeah, it's just a funding base.
It's
I was
definitely
only
capital.
thinking if we had some of these things, we didn't want to get our other projects derailed by a surprise. So if we've been working on it and continuing down the road, awesome.
Yep.
Your turn, Lynn.
You all set?
You're up.
Forbes front doors, what's,
Ford's front door is done, by the way. It says in progress, but I think they finished today. The front door, the first front door, the way they had these doors installed, I've had them been repaired since I started. It would have been the third time. And the way the pins are in the door and the weight of the door is the way it's built. It's never, we redid it. We put piano hinges on, they're on the outside like they should be. So now that the falling in of the doors isn't gonna happen. They weren't closing together, they were sticking on the base because the pins are bent. It was just
were they internal rads?
yeah, terrible design. So we ended up going with a piano hinge type exterior. They kind of redid the whole thing. Ran the wire down to mullion for the control instead of how it was. I think it was coming through the side. We just tried to.
And did you take electrified crash bars
Yeah,
before?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it was instead of electrified crash bar.
Yeah, okay. What was the other one? How do you pronounce that? Altaz snow removal? Is that
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
just
who
a
has
piece of
the
equipment.
contract?
That's a piece of equipment I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. Pads, chiller. Conditioned grass.
Yeah.
Like actually fertilizing?
Can't do that. Yeah, we went
Doing
out there.
something?
If you go to the intermediate school and if you look at the field, so we had Jesperson go through and aerate it and a little bit more care. We changed the height of the blade earlier in the season, and we're hoping it looks much better now. I'm hoping next year that it's not Dandelion City like it was.
Beautiful.
That's probably the biggest eyesore up there is come springtime is the dandelions all over the place. So and
Pretty from the third floor.
yeah, I know.
And you mentioned the BMS thing. What's the BMS they put in high school and the intermediate school?
Allergen.
Standardized on one platform for all the schools, or is that not?
That's the one I'm thinking of getting rid of at Vogel.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're getting rid of the one we put in the new schools?
No, we own that. No, the one that we have Siemens, we have SNE, and we have Allerton. Allerton has our brand new complex and Vogel.
Okay,
So,
so you want to get rid of Alex?
yeah, I'm checking our options. You know, when you get into
Allerton is
this,
at the new school?
when you get into this stuff, and you guys, when it comes to proprietary,
Mhm.
it just kills you instead of open. It's like that with fire alarm. It's like that with this stuff. You're locked in. You can't do anything.
So Allerton doesn't do backnet or anything like that?
Yeah, well, you can't on their end. It's back
Their own
now.
proprietary backnet?
Yeah.
All right. That was all I had, stuff I didn't really understand. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Projects update, so now you can go into your summer update, I guess that kind of covered it.
That
right?
was my project and summer update
Projects and
together.
summer update in one shot.
In one swoop.
Okay. No other questions, so we'll go right to topics for future meetings. Does anybody have any suggestions other than? Now, Rachel, you'll be down to, obviously, this policy will be done. Don't have to worry about that. We'll just go back to social media and tech update, I guess.
Sure.
Unless you want to add something else for Don't have anything else for now. Unless we want to add in, do you want to, is that enough time to do the device protection plan breakout?
I could put it in the update.
Or you want to wait 2 months for that?
Oh, you mean, like numbers?
Yeah.
You want
I
us to
mean-
take rate or do you want to know? You want the take rate or
What do you want? That's what-
maybe you can just tell us what the total, by the time we have our October meeting, you'll know what the total device
Participation.
protection plan participation was like.
Right,
That's all.
that's what I was thinking.
And we probably are gonna, it may change, well, you have another month, but when you send home the revised policy, which I think we have to do based on the original signature, we have to send them the new policy home.
Correct.
That may encourage some last minute enrollments.
Right.
So the
If
device
it's worded
protection
right.
plan update, we'll add that one for, as your third bullet.
Okay.
And Dean, we're gonna should have results from the roof bid by then, right? Whether you guys make a decision, why it's due on the 15th,
We'll have it, but yeah, that's Monday or Tuesday, we'll have it before.
date in the, I
Yeah.
think there wasn't a award date specified, right? You moved out the bid
It was
date,
like
did
2
we bump
weeks.
out the
Yeah,
award
yeah, it
date?
was like,
It was like
it
a
was
couple
something,
weeks
I thought there was something in there like that. But we'll have the numbers, well, we probably won't go through them enough, but we'll have them for the board meeting on Wednesday. The only thing I want to add for the next meeting too is, a couple of the services that are up are, mechanical services that we use. I want to, I'm meeting with them to see about, I think both of them, we have in our contract to go a 1-year extension off of that. So we have that and we have landscaping that's coming up also. So I want to speak to both of them. I want to see what that looks like and I'm going to bring it to you guys next time to talk about that. And the reason being is we don't know yet exactly. We don't own the whole building yet on this, especially on the HVAC end of it. Now, to put together a service package for that right now, I think it's going to take more time than when this contract is up with these guys. So,
Well, your data substantial completion, what's the warranty that was in the bid document?
well, it's going to be a year dependent. It's going to be, so the high school side is January. January it's up. And then the middle school side will be,
September-ish?
Yeah.
August-ish?
yeah, something of that nature. So,
Was the bid documents only a 1-year warranty period with, did it have like semi-annual test and inspects and cleanings and all that in the contract documents?
within the year?
Yes.
No.
There's no cleaning or test and inspects?
Well, no. They, original, but not to come back and do it as a service.
No, so, but the original 1-year period
Yeah.
should cover it.
Yeah. So,
And then is the gym building gonna be like a separate phase, so there's gonna be basically.
well, that, again, that's gonna be turned over at a different time. We really gotta look into that to see when that
Are there
warranty, because
units
it's
on
not
that
ours yet.
roof?
Huh?
Are there, from an HVAC example, is there units in that roof too?
Oh, yeah,
Three different tiers.
Well, I think what he was saying too, just is that you're asking about a 1 year. Glenn is saying that when they came out and did the test, inspect and turn up, that's the only one that was included in the document.
Yeah.
You're asking about them coming back again.
Yeah,
During the
usually
year.
they put in like biannual or semi-annual tests and inspects during that 1-year period.
I'd have to look into that.
Just check the bid doc, see if it includes any cleanings or anything that they should, that contractually they're obligated to.
Yeah.
If we don't ask, you don't get.
No, before you turn it, before it's ours. Yeah, I'll look into that.
So just put down like service contracts that you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
service contracts, that's all.
So roof update and service contracts, that's all you got for Dean. Would anybody else like to talk about anything else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No? Comments for the good of the order, we'll start with you, Ellen.
Great meeting.
Jeffrey.
Good meeting. Great job getting the schools up and running this year to all the teams involved. And hopefully the year continues like it has.
Patrick.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, there we go. Mr. Wilson.
A great meeting, thanks to Dean and Rachel's teams, like Jeff just said, they've been really working hard.
Josh? Drum boy? Huh? Can you let us fly that thing one time?
Negative, that's a no. I'll
He's
answer that
licensed.
question.
Wouldn't let me fly.
Yeah, that's a hard
No.
one. I'm gonna get the flyer, but no one else.
I think there should be a stipend for Josh to maybe teach the drone class.
That'd be nice.
Marissa. Quiet as a mouse. Rachel?
Thank
Right. Mr. Pergola?
Good meeting.
Great meeting. I love the new signs at the intermediate school.
Oh, yes, thank you. I meant to mention that. I saw them in the
They do.
pictures. They come out nice. I like the colors. The black kind of looks sharp.
What did you say? Oh, the signs up there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice,
intermediate
huh?
school.
Yeah, they came up good.
Actually, it's a good plan. Drove by maybe 2 weeks before the school started. and I don't think they were done yet.
They were done the day before school.
It's a hard time with that, but they were done.
They look great.
Would you like to say anything?
Not part of the committee.
That's all right. We'll open color.
Dean and Rachel and all your people, thank you. It was a lot of work over the summer, I know that. Thank you. Schools look great.
All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Closed. Excellent.
I'd like to call to order this budget committee meeting at 6:23 PM. Roll call.
Mr. Berger.
Yeah, no, we're all here. And Jason. And Mr. Mickelson. Okay, approval of the agenda,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Approve the minutes,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Public participation, anything, Josh? Okay. Discussion and next steps. And Donna, you're on.
Okay, well, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Everyone received the August monthly financials and their packets. I hope we had time to take a little look at them. Before I jump into some of the things I just wanted to point out there, I just wanted to address some of the questions that came up at our last meeting. So specifically, there was a question on the June bill for electricity. It was over 200,000. The question was, why was it so high? And it was a combined billing for 2 months. So that's what kind of added to the that higher expense on that line item. The para substitutes, there was a June bill and we were asked why that was so high for only 2 weeks. And once again, it was paid in arrears. So that was actually from mid-May to mid-June. So that was the answer to that question. And then admin travel came up of that again was over by like 25,000. And I misspoke. That was actually, I think Jeff had noted it, the monthly stipends for the administrators for their regular travel that they get. And that was under budgeted for the new year. So those were the answers to the questions that came up at that last meeting. Did anybody have any questions about those? Okay, I'll jump right in. So I tried to channel Jeff with the answers as to some of the things that might have stood out. So if you take your packet and you look at page 8, you'll see line code 5112.03. It's a behavior text. And there's 0 coming out of that, and that's because those were in the grant, and I know we've mentioned this before, so we need to just pretty much remove that line, obviously for next year, because those are grant-funded positions.
Okay, hold on. What
Yep.
was the number again?
Okay, so 5112.03.
It's coded.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, no, that would be 5112.27. Yes, those,
behavior therapy?
correct, those positions are in grants. So that's why you see 0 coming out there.
Okay,
Then
thank you, sorry.
I'm gonna go to page 9 next. The packet, and that one is 5190.02. And it was, those are our school resource officers, and we needed to budget them under not their salaries because we're paying the city for those positions. So that's a line 300. So that's why you see that being taken out of that line item. And then we created a line item for the city in the 300s. That's that. And then if you go to page 10, you will see at the top of the page, the HRA and the COBRA. That traditionally was kind of embedded in the benefits, and we wanted to pull it out to really, have a line item for it. It's a minimal fee. It's the health retirement is, the top line, and then the COBRA. I think we get charged $1 per person who takes COBRA to administer it. So right now we have 17 people. So like I said, it's a small amount, but we need to budget for it next year, so there's not a 0 there. But the funds were planned for in the benefits line item. The next item on the list was tuition reimbursement. I wanted to just draw your attention to right under COBRA. You'll see the perfect attendance incentive line, 5210.06. That was the last quarterly payment, so that's why it was hitting our FY '26 budget. So that was paid out in July. And again, those fees were budgeted under the benefits line item, and they should have been budgeted under salary line, and we fixed that for this year. So you'll see that appear in the correct line. The next line on page 10 is 5250, and that was the tuition reimbursement. And we had actually 10,000 come back to us from an employee who did not stay according to the length of the contract. In order to keep that fee, you need to commit to so many years as an employee. So that money actually came back. So that'll be good for anyone who wants to use that. Page 10, 5270, workman's comp. That one was just slightly under budgeted for that. That you'll see that over just very by a small amount. And if you look at the previous year, you could see we spent more last year.
You can never predict that.
It's a tough one. It's a moving target. Okay, so page 11. Copier services, 5440.02. That one, we had a wonderful contract with them, but the first 6 months was a reduced rate. And so after the 6 months, it pops up. So unfortunately, that is an extra expense for this year. And we just carried the budget forward from last year with not anticipating that. So that's why that's showing that it's slightly over. And then we go to page 12 now. Let's see. 12 up at the top for OTL licensing. There was some licenses that were applied to that line item that were actually meant to go into a grant. So we just did a reclass to the grant. And then last but not least, at the bottom of the page, on page 12, you'll see for a private sped DCF, we had budgeted for 5,000 and we're at 100,000, and that is a student-specific incident where we need to cover the tuition that we could not anticipate. And I think that's it. Do we have any questions?
You're getting good at this, Donna, with this predicting Jeff's questions.
I'm channeling it.
You don't have to give it to you.
Hi, just a quick question. I know that in the past 2 years or 3 years, there's been, I believe it was grant money for staff who did yonder duty, and I know that that's not this year. Is that grant money, was that still grant money that we have? Is that being reallocated? Is that alliance? Just, I know there was some staff members who were questioning that it's all being covered by paras who are on duty at that point rather than certified staff had that opportunity in the past. So
Yeah, so that's a great question. The Alliance was previously covering that expense. And, since we got our 0% from the city, we had to reallocate some of the funds in the Alliance to cover other things. If there's a great need, obviously we can, go back to the state and see if we do a budget modification based on, how things roll out.
And that, it's not to say that what's happening now is, I mean, there's checks and balances going into the buildings. I just know that there was staff who liked that opportunity for a little extra money. So I wanted to ask about that. Great question.
Understood.
Another question?
I have a couple, but just make everybody else an opportunity. See how many of the Jeff questions we knocked off.
No, Tim, should Jeff will help.
Hey, Jeff, you're on.
Come on. 5112.10, which I think is on page 8. That is technician. I'm gonna make a guess at the answer here, and it was heading. That's probably a little bit extra because of the overtime throughout the summer to get the schools up and running. Is that?
Let's see.
Because it went to 30% of expected.
Where are we?
51-12-10 on page 8.
Oh, okay, I was looking at that.
But I wasn't sure how that
Yes.
works. So we have overtime
Technician.
line items for other people, but I wasn't sure how that all pans out in the technician line item.
Yes, that was, I mean, you're right, you are correct. It was summer pay
Summer pay.
for getting the schools up and running.
Okay. Do we anticipate going over then, or does it all, is that carried? Did we carry something for that in the overall budget? It's hard to tell in 2 months. We don't have enough like normal months to see what the trend would be.
Yeah, I think we're covered. We anticipated a little extra bump for the summer.
Okay. Next up, you got a lot of them, Donna. I gotta give you credit.
Well, thank you.
Next up is 5510 transportation. I just noticed that we didn't encumber the amounts of the contract this year. It's like 2.8 million is encumbered. I didn't go back to double check this against the prior years to be totally transparent, but I thought we encumbered most of the contract. And it's just, it got paid out of the encumbrance throughout the year and it was just a change.
Yeah, so a lot of our encumbrances are being done as we speak. So I'll, we could go back and look at that. I know special ed has a lot of encumbrances too that they have to put in.
Okay, so there's not an issue with the transportation line item then?
None, no.
Okay, and then the next one is all in the same category, student summer school transport. Since summer school occurred in July, right?
Yes, and actually I checked on that one today and it's in the system and it's just working its way through New World. But that is a payment that's being made for 56,000.
Okay. Perfect. And then I don't have to ask the last question because you answered it earlier on electricity, so I think we're good.
Any other questions? Electricity.
Yeah, so the committee had asked me to look into some electricity trends. And right now we're trending high as we should have, and did expect in the TMS building and then here, not here, at the high school. We are over quite a bit, but we're gonna keep an eye on that. I think we should really wait until October to see where things settle out after construction's maybe done there. But I did do an August electricity bill summary, and it was 139,000. And we technically are, we're budgeting for 90 to 100,000. So we need to keep an eye on that, so that it was good to pull it out.
If I may on that one, because Donna and I have talked about this. There is still going to be some money coming back from the building because they are still in the building. Their machines are still plugged in. So Dean is going to speak to Ed and Mario, as will I, and hopefully we'll get some of that back. Not to say it's going to be all of it. So we will have to monitor it. I think we are in a good spot because and this is good news, and I think I can definitely share, which is good news from an electricity standpoint. Our food services, which also use electricity and other services, we are allowed to bill that for electricity, which we haven't had to do in years past because, it hasn't been such a crazy number. So we are allowed to do a bill for our food services, which would also help offset any electricity costs, which is a good news for the board. So that line item is not a panic mode. So it's a good thing. And while it's, when we can do what we could, when food services is in a good spot, obviously, but they are part of our team as well. But I know from having conversations with Kristen and with Donna, if we had to, we can cover.
I'm concerned whether it was only I realized we were gonna have increases in the summer for construction and whatnot, but as we talked about budget season, I was concerned that we were gonna head towards a steady state of 100 grand a month, which was 30% past what we budgeted for. It's not a small number.
No, I agree.
So we can look at it again down in October, that's fine.
Sure.
Just when you say bill food services, because it's an in-house thing, so
They're technically an outhouse thing.
Okay,
It's a weird way that food services works in the schools. They are part of Torrington family,
it's self-funded.
but exactly, because they're self-funded, they become their own entity.
Okay,
That's a great question.
yep,
I think we have, historically, there's enough in that self-funding to cover their due portion.
100%. Yeah, we would never
Wouldn't
make
burden
them,
them.
no,
Yeah.
never, because then they wouldn't be able to feed
Certainly.
our children.
Yeah.
So, but after talking with Kristen today, because Donna, rightfully so, was panicked about the electricity, and I was as well.
Just turning on the lights.
And then we said, well, there's a way we can do it. And then we had it. And we could
Okay. Thanks,
without
guys.
burdening them with music services.
Anything?
Good, she said.
Update on audit.
Oh, yes, audit. So we're mid-audit. We began in July and we had a visit from the auditors. They did a desk audit, and out of like 30 documents, we've submitted about 20. The rest of them are due by September 19th, and then they'll probably come in one more time for another desk audit. And so everything should be wrapped up by December, but it's going very smooth. Knock on wood.
Excellent. That's your overall audit, right, Donna? Not the audit on the numbers from last year, right?
This is for FY 25 for last year,
Okay.
for the 24-25 school year audit,
So it is for the actual school year audit.
correct?
Just for future meetings, for monthly financials, we'll look at electricity again, update on audit again, well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then from Glenn's meeting, from what Dean said, contracts, can we look and see if any other contracts are turning out?
Absolutely.
Just yearly, we should look at everything that we have, just to
Yeah.
see.
That's a great idea.
6 or 8 months ago, we keep thinking about a start from.
So we did create a list of
Yeah.
contracts, right?
Yeah.
Just names only, no values.
Yeah, we're pretty
Just
much
anything that's coming up.
good. I think that the propane thing, I think we're gonna do again, probably in the spring, for the buses. Yeah, we did a limited, time limited to align with the bus, contract, because there's that runs out.
Oh, that's how that, yeah, got it.
So bus contract as well.
Anything else? How much for the good of the order?
Great meeting.
That's what they're doing.
Good meeting. Sounds like we're all firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, thank you. Great meeting, and I just want to thank the HR department and the payroll department, because we had 239 people moving buildings, and then it was a bunch of new hires. Lisa has stacks on her.
I know, I
their
get them.
desk, but they're in the cabinet. And yeah, so it's just been a whirlwind, and the fact that everything's running smooth it's a miracle, but it's also because of everyone's hard work. So I just wanted to thank everyone, HR, finance, for all their hard work.
and as a TA union rep, having been on this subcommittee for 5 years, I think, at least, I'm not on it anymore until I hear if I'm reappointed. The TA has started a new thing where every year we need to apply so that they try to increase membership. So all of the teacher reps on the subcommittees have to reapply through the union to be on the subcommittee. So this is my last official until I hear otherwise of being appointed to here or policy, which is what I also applied for. So they're looking for fresh faces and fresh perspective. I'll put a word in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dean,
No. Couldn't do
Marissa? John?
Just wondering if, Mr. Putnam, if you could track how many questions you have before Donna shares and then after.
I did.
I think she's gonna get to zero. Yeah. No,
we're
good.
trending
He's
down.
doing his little tick marks.
I got him right here.
I imagine you did.
It's nice to know someone's watching. Yeah, great meeting. Thanks for the hard work for everyone. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?